All right, massive spending. Let's just review where we are here. Massive spending under the so-called tax deal. Massive new food regulations. It spends more on school lunches. Remember now, school lunches, this is school breakfast, school brunch, school lunch, school snack, school dinner, and then everything else. They want to be in charge of what kids are eating here. This bill even regulates bake sales. Openly gay individuals in the military, against the advice of the Marines and the Air Force. The START Treaty. Massive omnibus spending bills that fund Obamacare and over 6,000 earmarks. It goes on and on and on. The damage being done to this country by this Congress, including a number of Republicans, is disastrous. It is a finger in the eye of the public. It's now them against us. Folks, there's no way around it. I left the broadcast complex yesterday, and I was still fuming after yesterday's program, and I was driving home, and I was really putting this in perspective, what's happening here. That we're witnessing. This is the hijacking of our country right in front of our eyes, with some Republican participation. The election results were clear. If we were a woman and the Congress were a man, we're in the middle of being raped. We said no in November. And we're paying for it. We're paying to get raped. We said no in November, i.e. the election. We have said no at every opportunity, and yet they continue. Right in front of our eyes. They know it. They know. They waited specifically, as we discussed yesterday, strategically, timing-wise. They wouldn't dare try for any of this during the year prior to the election. They had this strategy all laid out, and here we are in the last week or so, and they try to dump all of this stuff in. The Democrats don't care about this country, and I'm going to tell you that without any reservations whatsoever. They don't care about the country. This is all about them. It is all about the last gasp opportunity they have to infect and poison this country with their ideology and their ideas. They are destroying and hijacking this country right in front of our eyes. And let's be clear about something. Brown, Collins, Snow, other Republicans, the usual suspects in most cases, are repeatedly defying the voters, and they pretend to be these old-fashioned fiscal conservative Yankees. But they are big-spending, irresponsible politicians who keep larding up the deficit, undermining any notion of fiscal sanity. And they do so under the guise, well, we've got to service our constituents. They know full well what the people of this country said. I'm talking about now Republicans, because this is not, as particularly some of these outgoing Republicans like Bennett from Utah, Voinovich in Ohio. Some of these people they don't care. Folks, they don't care about the country, and they don't care about you, and they wonder why they were defeated. Bennett's all ticked off he was defeated. I wonder if he gets any clue as to why here. Castle. Let's look at this. Mike Castle and Bob Bennett voting as they do, voting as they are now. Remember those who whined about taking down Bennett in Utah? Remember all those people who whined about defeating Castle in the GOP primary in Delaware? Oh, no, they're taking away a golden opportunity for us to control the Senate, to win the Senate. With what? Mike Castle, one of Dingy Harry Reid's most trusted allies if he got to the Senate. He's a Republican. All of you people out there, and you know who you are, all of you Republicans, you consultants, you glitterati inside the Beltway pundits and so forth who told us just how unfortunate it was and how short-sighted it was and how childish it was to defeat trusted, loyal Republicans like Bennett and Castle. You owe the nation an apology. And I'm speaking of these so-called Republicans and conservatives who attacked the Tea Party and those of us who argued for defeating these utterly useless politicians. In fact, they're worse than useless. They're damaging. They are harmful. They are not Republicans except in name only. And the bitterness and the spite that they now show as they leave town is an illustration of who they have always been. I'm waiting, folks. I'm waiting for the editorial praising Castle by those who dumped on O'Donnell. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the editorial in these publications, websites demanding we defeat more of these rhinos in primary races. Here we are, the most outrageous acts of any lame duck Congress in recent memory, and time and again, these so-called Republicans are helping this kind of conduct and outcome. And we were supposed to elect these people. We were supposed to think that we needed these people to get a majority. Yeah, right. And had we done so, where would we be with this majority? What kind of value would it have? These Republicans who are cutting and running now seem to think that the politics of the times hasn't changed. That the election doesn't mean any significant change in the country. They seem to think that they have to pander to the left in order to be loved and liked, in order to have self-love. They got to pander to the left. They have to sell out on principles to attract independent and some Democrat votes. That's how they define their success. They can cross the aisle. Who wants to cross the aisle with this bunch of renegades hijacking and engaging in destruction of this country? Why would anyone want to join them if you care a whit about the country? I don't understand. I'm asking this as a citizen, a full-fledged, common, ordinary, everyday citizen. The voice of this people was loud and clear in November. These people are not tone deaf. I keep hearing the question, what are they, tone deaf? How do you explain? McCain was on Hannity last night. Hannity said, well, how do you explain this, Senator? Are they just tone deaf? I don't know, Sean. I don't know. But tone deaf, I mean, they know exactly what they're doing, not tone deaf. They didn't miss anything. These people are bitter. They are bitter at having been defeated, and this is their revenge.